Coming to you on a road trip somewhere in Illinois with Natty Girl in the passenger seat. It's
Wilderness Nerd Out time!
Let's go! Yeah, baby! Let's go! How you guys doing? I'm not going to look at you and we'll get the road
Yes, I'm
for
holding the
safety
phone.
purposes. But what I want to talk about today is a diet, the concept of a diet. You know, so often it doesn't work for us. You know, and why isn't it working, right? I mean, there's so many different types. You know, you do it for a little bit. You have ones that are better than others. The Mediterranean diet, for example, you know, generally bodes well. But there always comes a time where there are foods not included in that diet that you want. You're in an occasion, you're at a wedding, you want to have a piece of cake, you want to have this, and you just can't. Or if you can do things in moderation, it dictates what you can have, how much. So let's set some general rules that will enable you to not have a diet and live a healthy life and lose weight if you want to, put muscle mass on if you want to, just think better, live better, just feel better overall. What is that? What is the secret? We always say at When Wellness, if you can't find it in nature, if you can't kill it, extract it from an animal, pick it, if you can't drink it in nature, you probably shouldn't be having it, right? That's one. All right. Two, if you're eating things that are actually good for you, how is your body going to respond, right? It's going to respond well. I mean, the internal regulation, physiological regulation is going to be working properly as it naturally was meant to work evolutionarily. And that's by eating these whole foods that we find in nature, right? So it's not that, you know, you can't have certain things in that sense, right? You can't have a lot of things, maybe that we have all the time. But even if you don't want to be so strict as to do that, every now and then you can have something maybe you wouldn't find in nature if you want to live a little bit. But you have to always realize how much you should be having in terms of macronutrients based on what your goals are. If you're trying to burn fat, you're going for, you know, the 0.64 to 1.23 grams of protein per day, pound per body weight, right, in a day. For example, if you're trying to build muscle mass, you can get up to 1.5 grams of protein, but it's fill your plate with a high percentage of protein, little less fat next to protein, and then even less carbs, right? And these carbs are coming in the form of vegetables that contain a lot of soluble fiber, right? We feed our gut bacteria, we properly absorb them, break them down. There are other compounds in these foods that help us break them down, unlike these simple sugars that we get in candies and all these processed foods and trans fats and things like that. And they have a diet, you know, it's called the IIFYM, if it fits your macros. And that's just, you know, for example, it's not as much of a diet, it's kind of a lifestyle, and I want to talk about it because it's really interesting. It's not telling you what to eat. You know, it's a lot like time-restricted feeding in that way. It's just kind of telling you how much of each type of macronutrient, fat, protein, carbs, you should be having, and it generally falls right about where I was just saying. The most protein, then comes fat, then come carbs, right? And we want a lot of polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, good for brain health, right? Like we talked about yesterday, how trans fats will make you dumber, make your neuronal cell membranes more rigid, right? And so just having a diet with these whole foods, knowing how much you should have based on your goals, and stopping eating when you're full, listening to your body, and what does that require? What does that require in order to get true signals from your body? Well, you know, obviously, if you're somebody that eats candy all the time and you cakes and you feel good, gives you that energy boost, you enjoy it. How you doing, Kyla? What's up? Congratulations on Tula, your beautiful daughter. Congratulations. Jazzy, how you doing, girl? What's happening? What's hopping on? What was I just saying? But if you have these whole foods, your body's going to be telling you the truth. Your body is going to be telling you the truth, and it might not tell you the truth at first if you are one of the aforementioned people that, you know, has these cakes and candies all the time and you feel good, right? Your body's lying to you. It's lying to you because it's not you. It's going to take what's quick, what's easy. It's getting energy, right? It's lying to you in the interim, but really, you know, in the long term, obviously later on you don't feel as good. Now you need to have more of it to have more energy. We need true signals. We need to know truly when we're full, right? When we're satiated, when we feel good, when we can perform well, and to be able to listen to your body like that it's not about following a specific diet. It's about following a few simple rules, finding it in nature, right? Moderation and knowing what's not in moderation, right? Knowing you need a lot of protein. You want to burn more fat, you need more protein. Again, more satiating, right? You feel fuller. You burn more calories at rest with more muscle mass, right? Another example on more protein indirectly in the long run will lead to burning more calories. And so that's really, more or less what it is about. It's not about just following a diet. It doesn't work. You can't do something temporary. You need a formula you can apply to anything, any situation, anywhere you are. You can say that about your plate. You don't need to look anything up to do that. You don't need to look anything up to do that, and you can live a great, healthy life. So that's what we got for you guys today. We got no birthdays today, so I guess we'll just see you later, guys. Have a great rest of your day. We're going to get back to driving another 15 hours, and we'll see you tomorrow. That's all we got for you. Happy When Wellness.
Happy
Day.
When
Happy
Wellness.
When Wellness.
Okay, so
Next.